Hello, it's nice to see you virtually. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to do a practice today that I'm calling Energize with the Earth. So there's so much happening in nature right now, and we tend to be up in our heads and worried about whatever's happening. And I look outside and there are all these flowers blooming and trees blooming and everything's green and red and purple and colorful. So we're going to bring that aliveness into our practice today. So let's get started. As always, do as much or as little as you like. We're going to begin standing today. Finding mountain pose, keeping the knees soft. Let yourself arrive as if you've just landed on this cool thing called your yoga mat. And you're feeling the solidity of the earth under your feet. You feel the support of the earth under your feet. Maybe bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, and begin to notice your breath. Begin to notice the support of your breath. So throughout this practice, we're going to use the energy of the earth and the soothing, calming, enlivening energy of our breath to bring our mind into the present moment. Coming into a moving meditation that's energizing. Let's begin our flow. So step to the front of the mat. Again, arrive there. We're going to take these pauses throughout the practice to re-arrive in our bodies, in our breath, on the earth. And as you stay with your breath, begin to add the arms to the breath. Bring the arms out to the sides and overhead, maybe even look up. Maybe turn the palms down and bring the arms down the center line. Inhale, drawing energy up from the earth, up through the top of the head, and then bring it down through your body, symbolically and energetically. Continue with your breath. Feel that energy starting to flood through your body as your body begins to awaken. On the next exhale, come into a forward fold. Keep the arms out to the side, the back flat, the knees soft. And just hang for a moment. Maybe nod the head, yes. Shake the head, no. Gently side to side. And then bend the knees a little more. Sweep the arms out to the side. Use the legs, the energy from the earth to come all the way up to standing. Palms touch, maybe add a back bend. Exhale, hands back to the heart, we arrive. And let's keep flowing. Inhale, arms out to the sides and overhead. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, hands to shins or thighs, lengthen. Exhale, down into forward fold. Bend the knees deeply, sweep the arms out to the sides. Come all the way up. Maybe add that back bend. Exhale, hands to the heart. Pause to re-arrive. Inhale, arms out to the sides. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Halfway up, inhale. Exhale, back down. Bend the knees more, step the right foot back into low lunge. Lower the right knee. Stay quite low if you like, or bring the hands to the left thigh. Feel the breath. I'm gonna make sure that my right foot isn't turned in a little bit. So Stay with the breath. If you like, bring the arms up into a wide V. Keep the hips low, the pelvis low. And if you like, start to add the arms to the breath. Sweep the arms down and behind you. And then as you inhale, sweep them all the way back up. Again, you're taking energy from the earth and bringing it into your body, using this energy that's always available to us. The next time the arms come down, lean into the left foot, step the right foot forward. It might take you several steps to get there. Come into forward fold. Hang for a moment, lift the head, hang, soften the knees. Bend the knees, sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up. If you like, add that back bend. Exhale, hands to the heart, re-arrive. Keep flowing. Inhale, arms out to the side, dive down as you exhale. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen. Exhale, back down. Step the left foot far back. Slowly sink the left knee down into low lunge. Again, you can stay low or bring the hands to the right thigh, keeping the hips as squared as you can. And if you want, bring the arms up. And then as you exhale, sweep the arms back down. And then inhale, sweep the arms up. Moving with the breath. It's always helpful to add a smile to your face, to remind yourself to lighten the mood a little bit. The next time the arms come down, step the right foot back into table position. Arrive in table, and then coming into the flow of cat and dog or cat and cow. Inhale, heart forward, tailbone up. Feel the stretch of the whole front body, and as you exhale, round the spine away from the mat. Feel the stretch of the back body. Moving back and forth with your breath between cat and dog or cow. Some people call the pose cow. Inhale back into table. Make sure your arms are at least shoulder distance apart. Hold them out with the hands, tuck the toes, lift the knees, come up into downward facing dog. Make sure your legs are as wide as your arms, and your downward dog is like a teepee shape. The tailbone is the apex, the top of that tent. Breathe. And when you're ready, walk the feet towards the hands, hanging forward fold. Just hang for a moment. Bend the knees deeply, sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up. Maybe add that back bend if it feels good for you. Exhale, hands to the chest. Pause to re-arrive. And let's flow again. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, halfway up, hands to shins or thighs, lengthen. Exhale, down. Big step back with the right foot. This time, keep the right knee lifted if you can, coming into a high lunge. So you might stay quite low with the hips low, the left knee bent over the ankle, or step or jump your hands to the left thigh. Keep pushing equally into both feet. And if you like, again, add the arms, bring the arms up. And again, if you like, sweep them down and back up. Energizing, using the breath. Using the energy of the earth. Drawing on the energy of the earth. The next time the arms come down, Lower your right knee down, come into low lunge. Pause here for a moment. And if you like, again, bring the arms up. And this time, if you want, make pitchfork arms, so kind of goal posed arms. Stay with your breath. Bring the arms back down, and left foot goes back, coming into table position and into downward facing dog. Stay for 3 to 5 breaths in your downward facing dog, so you can stay stationary or walk it out, wag your tail, whatever feels good for you. When you're ready, walk your feet towards your hands or take a little hop, bend the knees, and then take a little hop to the front of the mat. Forward fold, bend the knees, sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up. Maybe add that back bend, exhale, hands to the chest, re-arrive on the earth, in your breath, in your body. Keep flowing, inhale up, exhale, dive down. Inhale, halfway up, hands to shins and thighs, lengthen, exhale, down. Left foot steps far back. Stay up on the left toes if you can, into high lunge. Keep the arms low or bring them up to the right thigh. And breathe, stay with your breath. If you want to add the arms, sweep the arms up. And then sweep them back down as you exhale. You're energizing, and it's also like you're clearing the space around you. Like you're saying, this is my space, and I'm cleaning it right now. Bring the left knee down, coming into low lunge. Again, feel free to stay low. Bring the hands to the right thigh, or make pitchfork arms. Keep pressing back through that left foot. Breathe all the way into the heart. It's like your heart is shining forward. Bring the arms back down, step the right foot back into table, and then into downward facing dog. Again, stay for a few breaths in downward dog. Feel the delicious stretch of the back body. When you're ready, pull forward into plank, like the top of a push-up. You can always lower the knees down if that's better for your body. And then pike up into for downward dog again. Breathe. Do that a few more times if you want to. If your body wants to pull forward into plank, maybe bring the knees down or stay lifted. And then gather the belly in, come up into downward dog. Back and forth at your own pace, building strength in the front of the body. Whenever you've had enough, sink the knees down and come into child's pose. Just arrive for a moment in child's pose. Maybe make a pillow of the hands for the head. Sometimes it feels good to bring your hips side to side. When you're ready, come back up into table and into downward facing dog. Again, step or jump the feet forward. This time I'm going to just walk the feet forward, forward fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up. If you like, add that back bend. Exhale, hands to the chest, arrive. Let's keep flowing. Inhale up, exhale, dive down. Inhale halfway up, hands to shins or thighs. Exhale down. Take a big step back with the right foot. This time angle the right heel towards the back. Inch the left heel to intersect the right instep. The left knee is bent over the ankle. We're coming into warrior two. So you can rise, let your torso come up. Make sure the left knee stays over the ankle. The right hip is opening out to the side. But don't open your right hip so far that the left knee starts to fall in. Arms straight up from the shoulders. Find your warrior two. Hug the tops of the arms into the shoulder sockets. Hug the muscles in the torso in towards the center line. Your gaze is over your left middle finger. Really imagine again sweeping that energy from the earth up through the soles of the feet to the top of the head, and then sweeping anything you don't need out through the soles of the feet on the exhale. Bring the right hand to the right hip, bend the left elbow, bring the left forearm towards the left thigh into extended side angle. You can just really make a diagonal line from the top of the head through the right heel. You can stay here or bring the right arm alongside the right ear. And if you want some more movement, start to make sweeping circles with that right arm. Again, a smile always helps to lighten the mood. It's kind of a message to your nervous system that I'm actually having fun, even though it looks like I'm working really hard. This is fun. And breathe. You can reverse the circles. So you can see my lower body is staying very steady. The legs are strong and active. My breath is steady and flowing. The next time the right arm comes behind you, rise back up, warrior two. Your gaze is over your left middle finger. Adding more flow as you inhale, straighten the left knee, fingertips touch overhead, look to center. And then exhale, your head goes back to look over the left fingertips, your left knee bends, your arms come back into warrior two. Inhale, lift and lengthen, get really tall and long, and then keep that length and extension as you sink back into warrior two. Flow with your breath. Start to maybe feel the energy in your body beginning to enliven every cell in your body. And also bringing more strength and lightness to your mind. Pause in warrior two again. Then bring the right arm down. Turn the left palm up and then bring the left arm alongside the left ear. Breathe. Make sure the left shoulder doesn't come forward. So I'm not twisting my torso. I'm keeping the shoulders and the hips aligned with each other as best as I can. If you like, add a flow. As you exhale, straighten the left knee, bring the left arm down. And then inhale, bend the left knee, bring the left arm alongside the left ear. Straighten the left knee, bring the left arm down. And back up. The next time the left arm comes down and the left knee is straight, maybe bring the left hand to the right side of the rib cage. Feel your breath. While you're feeling your breath, bend the left knee again. Come into that warrior two shape. Feel your breath. And then add the arms to the warrior two shape. Left arm forward, right arm behind you. Breathe. Cartwheel the hands down to the ground or to blocks. Pivot onto the right toes. I'm inching my left foot out to the side a little bit and step back into table or downward facing dog. Left foot goes back, walk it out. If your body wants to come back into that flow of plank, knees down or up, and downward facing dog. Do that a few more times if it feels good for your body. When you've had enough, then make your way all the way down onto the abdomen. Take your time. Once you're down on the belly, arrive on your belly in Advasana. Release any sighs. Take a moment to really feel the support of the earth under you. Remembering the energy of the earth is there to support us always. Bring the hands under the shoulders, gather the belly in, inhale up into table. Keep going into extended child, pull the hips towards the back of the room. Keep your elbows lifted and stretch from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Inhale up into table. Right foot goes behind you into balancing cat. Lower the right hip a little bit or turn the right toes in a little bit to keep the right hip level with the left hip. Stay here. I'm having to pull my hair out of the way or bring the left arm forward. If you want to add a little back bend, bend the right knee, sweep the left arm behind you, reach the right hand towards the left ankle or thigh, or just hold it or just reach it towards. Try not to twist your body. Stay with your breath. If you've taken the bind, maybe release the bind, bring the right arm behind you, the left arm forward. And then bring the left arm down, the right knee down. Maybe sway your hips to the right, look to the left, sway your hips to the left, lift the right side to side. Back into table. Left leg goes behind you, balancing cat. Choice to stay here or bring the right arm forward. Keeping hips and shoulders as even as you can. If you want to add that bind, bend the left knee, reach the right arm for the left ankle. You can probably see that I'm very wobbly here, and that's okay, maybe you are too. And breathe. Smile. And if you've taken the bind, bring the left leg behind you, the right arm forward. Right arm down, left knee down. Let's do some cat and dog tilts again. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, round the spine away from the mat. Back and forth. Inhale back into table. And start to imagine that your torso is inside a barrel. Do some barrel rolls with the torso. So you're sweeping the torso to one side, to the sky, to the other side, down to the ground. Moving with your breath. Like you're scraping the inside of the barrel. You can reverse the circles. Bring in some movement to the spine, some kind of unusual movement to the spine. And make your way back, excuse me, into downward facing dog. Fingers wide, arms and legs equally spaced. When you're ready, look between your hands, step or jump into forward fold, take a little hop, or walk the feet forward. Bend the knees deeply, sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up, maybe add that back bend. Exhale, hands to the chest, re-arrive. I'm going to turn to the other side so I don't turn my back to you. As we come into the other side of this flow, inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, hands to shins and thighs. Exhale, down. Take a big step back with the left foot to angle the left heel towards the back. Adjust your right heel so it's intersecting the left instep. Your right knee is bent over the ankle. Bring your hands to the right thigh if you like. Open your left hip away from the right hip without letting the right knee come in. Imagine the inner thighs hugging in toward each other like scissors wanting to close. Right arm comes in front of you, left arm behind you. Hug the tops of the arms into the shoulder sockets. Gaze is over your right middle finger. Breathe. Full deep breaths. Drawing the energy up from the earth with your breath. Bring the left hand to the left hip, right elbow bends and the forearm comes towards the right thigh. Keep the left shoulder in line with the right shoulder. Left arm comes alongside the left ear. Breathe. If you don't need that right forearm on the right thigh, bring the right arm to the inside of the right thigh or shin or to the outside and breathe. There's really no weight on that right elbow. If you want, start to sweep the left arm around. Stay with your breath. You can reverse the circles. The next time the left arm is behind you, rise back up into warrior two. The breath, you're not just hanging out here, you're letting the breath enliven you. You're letting the breath keep the pose active and energized. As you inhale, straighten the right knee, fingertips touch overhead, get really long, get longer still, and then sink back into warrior two, your gaze over your right middle finger. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink back down. Keep going at the pace of your breath. One more. Pause in warrior two again. Left arm comes down, right arm comes alongside the right ear. And then you can bring the right arm behind you towards the left leg a little bit. Breathe. If you want to add a flow, as you inhale, straighten the right knee, fingertips touch overhead, and then exhale, sink back into that shape. I think it's warrior dancer. Inhale, lift, exhale down. Option two, keep the right knee bend and just bring the left arm up and down. Stay with your breath. And sink back into warrior two. Cartwheel the arms alongside the right foot. Step back, downward dog or table. Do that plank downward dog flow if you like. When you're ready, when you've had enough, come down onto the, bring the knees down, make your way all the way down onto the belly. And just arrive. Stay with your breath. If you like, you can turn one cheek to the side. This is a great place to feel the support of the earth. And you might turn the opposite cheek to the mat. If you want, bend the knees, windshield wiper feet side to side. Bring the legs back down. If your head is turned to one side, bring the head back to center. Keep the arms alongside the body. And as you inhale, imagine your thighs getting lighter and just floating up off the mat. An inch or two, maybe your chest and head floats up as well. So you're not really lifting, you're just floating up a little bit. And breathe. Maybe your arms float up an inch or two as well. Maybe the palms are turned in towards the thighs. When you've had enough, sink down onto the belly, turn the cheek to one side. And bring the head back to center. Let's do that again. So thighs float up, not lifting, but just float up. Chest and head float up, arms float up. You can stay quite low, or imagine a big wind comes and lifts your heart up, and then you rock back and forth on the waves of the breath. Stay with this boat pose as long as you like. When you've had enough, sink down onto the belly, turn the cheek to the opposite side, and we arrive on the earth. Let's do that one more time. Head to center, thighs lift, chest and head lifts, arms lift. Stay low or lift a little higher, or bend the knees, reach for the ankles with the hands, and then coming into basket, rocking back and forth on the breath. When you've had enough, sink down onto the belly, turn the cheek to one side, or make a pillow with the hands for the head. If your lower back needs a relief, bend the knees, windshield wiper feet side to side. You might turn the opposite cheek to the mat. Bring the head back to center. Bring the arms forward and bring the elbows under the shoulders. The forearms are parallel to each other. You're pressing down into the forearms. We're coming into forearm plank. So make sure your elbows are right under your shoulders. Your forearms are parallel. Your head is low. Tuck the toes, tuck all 10 toes, and then lift the hips up, coming into forearm plank. Keep pressing down and back through the forearms and breathe. Keep pressing down into the ground and back through the forearms. Stay with the breath. When you've had enough, sink the knees down and come up into table position and into any version of child's pose. Just pause for a moment to arrive in child's pose. Maybe wag your hips side to side if that feels good for you. And we're going to come into that forearm plank again because it was so much fun. Seriously, it's really, really good for your body, building strength. So this time approach it from table. Bring the elbows under the shoulders, forearms parallel, head kind of low, and then send the right foot far back, tuck the right toe, send the left foot far back, lower the hips to make that straight line from the top of the head through the heels, press down and back through the forearms. Hug the navel in towards the spine, the whole torso in towards the center line. Stay here as long as you like. When you've had enough, sink down onto the belly. Hands alongside the chest. Inhale into table or downward facing dog. 3 to 5 yummy, luscious breaths in downward dog. Bring the right leg behind you into three-legged dog. Look between your hands and then bring the right knee towards the chest and bring the right foot inside the right hand. Stay up on the left toes if you can. Rise up into high lunge. Exhale back down into downward facing dog. Right leg steps back. Left leg comes behind you. Keep the hips square. Look between your hands. Draw the left knee forward so the left foot comes inside the hands. And as best as you can, it might take several steps. Come up into high lunge if you like. And step back, downward facing dog. Step or jump into forward fold. Hang. Bend the knees deeply, sweep the arms forward, come into chair pose. And then sweep the arms behind you into skier's pose. Arms forward and behind you, forward and behind you, forward and behind you, forward and behind you. The next time the arms come down, forward fold. Send the right leg behind you into the balancing stick. If you have blocks, you can also use blocks under the hands. Breathe. Maybe lift the right hip up and stack the right hip over the left hip, coming towards half moon. And we're just gonna play. The left fingertips are in front of the left foot, and the right arm might be able to come up into some expression of half moon. Breathe, smile, maybe wobble, maybe lose it like I did. And bring the right arm back down, bring the right leg back down, step back into downward dog. And let's play with the other side of half moon. Come into forward fold. I'm gonna turn around, so I'm not turning my back to you. And breathe and just hang. Left leg goes behind you. You could be using blocks. Maybe stack the left hip over the right. Right fingertips are a few inches in front of the right foot. Maybe the left arm can come up. This is great to do against the wall, so you can take support from the wall. Breathe and smile. Bring the left arm down, right leg down, left leg down, step back, downward dog. If you still have energy, do some more plank and downward dog. If you want to rest, come down into child's pose. Take your time, let yourself arrive, and breathe. Come back up to a seated pose. Bring the legs in front of you. The feet wide, the arms behind you. And lift the hips up, come up into reverse table. Breathe, hug the navel in, or just flatten the back. Don't let the head drop back so the neck stays in line with the rest of the spine. Slowly bring the hips back down towards the hands. Let the knees come out to the sides. And then you sweep the arms forward, reach forward between the feet. Hang for a moment. Walk the hands back in, come up to a seated pose. Bring the knees upright. Remove the flesh from the sit bones. We're going to come into a version of upward facing boat. So I'm going to offer you several options. You can just rock back and let the feet come up off the mat. Your belly is still yearning towards the thighs. Breathe and smile. Stay here, or bring the shins parallel to the mat. The hands can be to the backs of the thighs. Keep staying as upright with the torso as you can, so you're not letting your back slouch towards the mat behind you. Stay here, or bring the arms alongside the shins and breathe, and again smile, or extend the legs all the way up. Breathe. My belly and chest are yearning towards my thighs. You can probably see I'm quite wobbly here, and that's okay. When you've had enough, then bring the legs down, maybe cross the ankles, lean forward, and let's do that one more time because it's very good for us. Bring the feet back. Balance on the sits bones, rock back a little bit. Stay here, or bring the shins parallel, or extend the legs, extend the arms. So just find what works best for you. Breathe and smile. When you've had enough, bring the feet down and then make your way all the way back onto the back. Lie down on your back. Once you're on your back, just let yourself arrive. And this time, really feel the earth supporting you. Bring the knees into the chest. And then bring the hands alongside the hips. Walk the thumbs under the base of the buttocks. So the thumbs are kind of lifting the tailbone a little bit so the lower back is flat on the ground. And coming into water wheel, start to let your legs churn like the water wheel of an old mill over a stream in New Hampshire. That's where I'm imagining it. Imagine the cool, clear water that your legs are churning. You can reverse your water wheel if you like. Your water wheel may be faster than mine, slower than mine. Make sure that the lower back stays connected to the mat. Imagine you're drawing energy now from this imaginary stream, as well as from the earth and from your breath. You can rest or reverse the circles again. And if you're still hanging in there, you might reverse the circles again. Bring your knees into your chest when you're complete. Maybe rock side to side on your lower back. And then keeping the knees hugged in, bring the arms in an A-frame, so closer to the hips than the shoulders. You might rock the knees a little bit towards the right and tuck the left shoulder blade under, and then rock the knees a little bit towards the left, tuck the right shoulder blade under, come back to center. shoulder blades kind of making an arch in the upper back to keep the shoulders grounded. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, let the knees drift over to the right as far as they want to come, but make sure the left shoulder stays on the ground. Your knees might be quite high. And inhale, knees and head back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, head to the right. Keep the right shoulder blade on the ground. Come side to side. Maybe your knees are able to come a little deeper each time, or maybe they're staying quite high. It's okay, whatever is happening in your pose, in your practice, in your body. When your body says, I've had enough of this twist, then bring the feet back down and rest. When you're resting, you might take constructive rest pose, letting knees rest against each other, hands to the belly, arrive back on the earth. And if your feet are wide and your knees are resting against each other, bring the feet about hip distance apart again, and then bring the right knee into the chest. You can clasp the hands behind the right thigh or in front of the right shin. Find your breath. And then send the left leg long and let it hover just an inch or two above the mat. Your left foot is flexed. And on the next inhale, bring the left knee into the chest and send the right leg long. So the right leg is now hovering over the mat and your left knee is hugged in towards the chest. And then again, switch, take a deep inhale, bring the right knee in. Send the left leg long, continue to switch side to side. Again, listen to your body. The lower back stays connected to the mat throughout this whole flow. So if that doesn't work for you, then just keep one knee hugged in and send the other leg long on the floor. Let it rest down. Find what works for your body. And the next time the left knee is hugged in and the right leg is long, bring the right knee in, bring both knees in, circle the knees to massage the lower back. And then bring your legs up to the sky. Bring the hands behind the head, making a little pillow with the hands for the head. And as you exhale, lift the chest and head a little bit. And bring your knees into the chest, curl up into a little ball. Exhale, send the legs up to the sky, release your head back down. Curl up into a little ball as you exhale, and then lengthen the legs up to the sky, the head and arms come back down as you exhale. Do that a few more times if it feels good for you. Not pulling on the neck at all, so no strain in the neck. When you've had enough of these, release the arms and come up into dead bug. Let your limbs blossom up to the sky. Imagine your torso sinking into the ground. If you don't want to stay stationary here, it might feel really good to dysfunctional scissor arms and legs. Or make other movements with arms and legs. scissor forward and back. So you're just playing. You're on your mat, in your house, in your body, doing your practice. I'm just pretending my limbs are seaweed and they're just, or maybe they're moving to some music only I can hear. You might be staying stationary with the limbs just extended, or you might still be scissoring, or you might have found something else you wanted to do. Try to keep the limbs lifted for several minutes to allow the blood flow to reverse. Whenever you've had enough, bring the feet back to the mat. Maybe hold your belly in your hands. Let's come into bridge pose. So the feet are hip distance apart from each other. The arms are alongside the body, palms facing down. Press into the feet. Lift the hips up as high as they want to come. You can do bridge wave if that feels better for you today, or keep pressing the pelvis, the belly, and the chest up towards the sky. Don't let your knees splay out. If it's available to you, you can also interlace the fingers under the bottom and then roll onto the right shoulder a little bit, tuck the left shoulder blade under, roll onto the left shoulder a little bit, tuck the right shoulder blade under. So now the shoulder blades are, again, making that little arch in the upper back. The knuckles of the hands are yearning towards the heels, and it's like I'm really proud of my belly and sending the belly up to the sky. Challenge yourself perhaps to stay a little bit longer in bridge. But listen to your body. When your body says that's enough for now, then you can slowly release the hips back down onto the mat. You can rest for a moment, or you can reapproach bridge if you like. Whenever your body says that's enough, then slowly come back down. Pause for a moment once the hips are down. And after you've released onto the mat for a moment, you can bring the knees into the chest to kind of rock on the lower back. Let's do eye of the needle pose. I know a lot of you love eye of the needle pose, so don't want to deprive you of that. Bring your right knee into the chest, cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Right foot is flexed. Lift the left leg, bring the right arm between the legs, hold on to the back of the left thigh or the front of the left shin. It's helpful if you keep both feet flexed. Stay with your breath. If you can, soften the belly. Soften the roof of the mouth away from the tongue. To soften the jaw. The jaw wants to tighten here because the hips and the jaw are energetically linked. So the jaw's like, I'll help you there, dear right hip. But just tell the jaw, we don't really want it involved. We want it to be relaxed. When you're complete from that side, unclasp the hands, bring the left foot down, unwind the right leg. And when you're ready to come to the other side, cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Bring the right, lift the right leg. Left hand goes between the legs, hold on to the back of the right thigh or the front of the right shin, whatever feels best for your shoulders. So the backs of the shoulders should stay down on the ground. Don't let the chin come up towards the sky so you're not fighting the gentle flattening of the neck. Stay with your breath, soften the belly if you can. Again, think about the widening of the tongue, the release of the jaw. Unclasp the hands, bring the right foot back down, unwind the left leg. Pause for a moment and then ask your body if there's something else it would love to do before final relaxation. I'm going to guide a twist. If there's something else you'd rather do, please allow that. So if you want to follow my twist, then bring the right foot to the center a little bit towards the left. Cross the left leg over the right. You can just let the leg hang, or you might be able to tuck the left foot behind the right shin or ankle, calf. Stay here or bring the arms out to the sides, palms facing down. Make an A-frame with the arms so they're not at shoulder height, they're a little bit lower. Take a deep inhale and let the knees, as you exhale, let the knees drift over to the right, but only so far that the left shoulder stays on the ground. My head is turned to the left, or it can be turned towards the right, or it can stay at center. Let the knees hover where they hang. They're probably not coming all the way down, because if they do, then your left shoulder would be off the ground. And breathe and soften into the left hip, into the belly, into the jaw. Maybe a smile would be helpful here. And breathe. When you've had enough, gently bring the knees back up. Uncross the legs. Bring the left foot to the mat. Square your hips and your shoulders back into the mat. And then step the left foot towards the center. Cross the right leg over the left, just like you're sitting crossing your legs. Again, you might be able to tuck the right foot behind the left ankle or not. And the arms are still out to the side. As you exhale, let the knees drift over to the left, as far as they want to come. But again, you can see now my right shoulder stays firmly on the ground. My knees are hovering. My head is exploring whether it wants to come to center or towards the left or back to the right. I think I'm going to stay at center with my neck this time, with my head. And breathe. Where can you soften a little bit? See if you can soften the belly. Imagine sending the breath into that right hip. Soften the fronts of the shoulders so the shoulders stay relaxed on the ground. When you're complete with whatever you're doing, this twist or something else, roll the right hip back down, bring the right foot to the mat, square the hips and the shoulders back onto the mat. Stretch or move in any way you like, and then make your way into Shavasana. So your Shavasana, it might feel really good for you to just stretch out long on the mat. I highly recommend bending the knees and bringing some support under the knees so the legs can relax, or taking constructive rest pose. It's pretty harsh on the lower back to keep the legs extended for a long period of time. So I would not recommend that, but it's your body. You know it better than anyone, and you know what it wants to do. So make your way into your version of Shavasana. I'm going to come up so I can guide you through it. I'm also going to go put on my shirt because I get cold after yoga. If you have a blanket, this is a great place to use a blanket. Make yourself as comfortable as you possibly can. I think I'll just join you in Shavasana today. So once you're in Shavasana, in your final rest, in your well-deserved rest, take a moment again to feel or imagine the earth supporting you. You can even imagine the earth is rising up to embrace you. Like the earth is happy that you're lying on it. It says, welcome. The earth says, welcome your body onto the ground. The earth says, I'm here for you always. I'm always here to support you. All you have to do is remember that I'm always here to support you, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. The earth is always here to support you. And when you allow your body to be supported by the earth, when you remember that the earth is there to support you, you're making more room for the breath. You're allowing the breath to flow easier. Soften your thighs, your buttocks. Imagine your entire back being supported by the earth. And as you're letting the earth hold your entire back, you may notice a little more softness in the front of the body. Let the pelvis drop onto the earth. Let the belly soften. Let the belly soften so much that the breath seems to make gentle ripples on the surface of the belly, like gentle ripples in a clear blue pond. Imagine the heart
and lungs, the whole front of the chest, melting into the upper back, the fronts of the arms melting into the backs of the arms, resting on the earth. The collarbones melting into the shoulder blades melting into the earth. The whole face, the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks, the mouth, melting towards the back of the head, the back of the head being supported, held, cradled by the earth. Rainer Maria Rilke said, "Spring has come. The earth is like a child who knows poems by heart. The earth is like a child who knows poems by heart." Taking delight in the earth, in how much the earth can do. The earth produces these gorgeous flowers and blossoms, this green grass, these flowering trees. The earth is like a child who knows poems by heart. It keeps knowing how to rejuvenate itself. It knows how to replenish itself. Use your Shavasana today to relax in that rejuvenation of your body, your mind, your soul. You might imagine softening the squinting muscles around your eyes. Imagine the eyes dropping onto the ground, onto the earth. Your whole body supported, nourished, cherished by the earth. Just like the earth supports, nourishes the flowers, the trees, the grass, all living beings. May we all feel safe, supported, nourished, and cherished by this planet, Earth, by ourselves, by each other. May we all feel supported, nourished, and cherished by our breath. Stay in your Shavasana as long as you like. If you have the time and the inclination to stay longer, please do that. If you want to join me in finishing the practice together, you can gently bring your knees into the chest. Curl up into a little ball, maybe rock side to side to support the lower back, to awaken a little bit. And then gently let your knees rock to the right. Roll onto the right side to rest in fetal position for a moment. Again, become aware of the support of the earth under you. Rest on the earth. When you're ready to make your way up to a seated position, push into the left hand, make your way up to any seated position that you like, maybe cross-legged, maybe another position. Take a moment to re-arrive upright and notice how you feel. Perhaps there's a little more ease, a little more peace, a little more spaciousness in your body, in your mind, in your spirit. If you like, bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. Resolve to remember the earth is always there to support you. Your breath is always there to support you. Bringing palms together in prayer position in front of the chest. Press the thumbs towards the heart and the heart towards the thumbs. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again virtually or in person soon.